All right, 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Beautiful Monday morning. We did a segment one day on idioms, sports idioms specifically, and I want to mention some of the golf idioms because our next guest has used golf as a way to, I guess, in my world anyway, that made it easier to understand some of the ways to be smarter with money. Yeah. Altair M. Gobo is our guest. He's the author of the book called Getting to the Green, Golf, Financial Planning, and Life, not necessarily in that order. Mr. Gobo is a certified financial planner and a contributor to Fox Business News, Bloomberg, CNN, NBC, ABC, MSNBC, and he's an avid golfer, you probably figured out. And so it's an honor to have him on our show. Good morning, sir. How are you? Thank you for being on the air with us today.
Larry, thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm in New Jersey.
How's the golf in New Jersey? Is it good?
It's beautiful. We have some of the best courses in the world. No, we have some real nice courses here. But I also have a home in Florida.
Oh, do you?
Highland Beach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you guys play golf 365.
Right.
Well, I know one of the reasons people move here. No, let me take that back. One of the reasons people choose where they move to, if they move here, that's a more accurate way of saying it, is based on the golf course. I mean, I know you're not here to talk about golf courses, but I think but in order to live in a community that has a nice golf course, you kind of have to have a few dollars. They're not cheap. So this all works together for me. I can see the connection.
Yep, absolutely. But there are some very fine public courses too. So I think golf is something that can be enjoyed by almost everyone.
Absolutely.
No matter what their financial, et cetera. No matter how old they are. I have a client in Delray Beach. He's 80 years old, and he lives on a golf course, and he plays almost every third day.
That's something.
So
that's awesome.
It's good.
I love the way, though, that you've taken the game of golf and you've not using idioms really, but you've taken the same approach to successfully playing golf as and applied it to investing money.
Yeah, when you think about it, golf really is a metaphor, on life in general, and in many cases, money, financial planning. If anyone who's ever played golf knows that if you spend 4 hours with somebody on a golf course, you know everything about that person at the end of the 4 hours. You know his personality, you know his demeanor, you know if he's honest, you know a lot of things about that person. And so if you look at golf from that point of view, it teaches you a lot of lessons. It teaches you about, diversification, for example. You're allowed to have 14 clubs in a bag. Guess what? They're not all the same club. They don't all serve the same purpose. Right?
That's right.
If you just take that example a step further, you look at your investments, and you don't have all the same investment. You don't have all long-term investment, short-term. That you have a mix so that it serves all of your needs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the way that you've taken that. It's easy to understand when you think of it in terms of golf. It may not be so easy when you think of it in terms of investments. And maybe because in the golf bag, you've used the different clubs and you kind of have figured out along the way which one works in which circumstance. But in the world of investing, a stock that's good today may not be so good in the future.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But how often does someone keep the same club? I've probably bought 20 wedges in my lifetime. So you have a wedge, and all of a sudden it's not working for you anymore, or somebody comes up with a better wedge, and so we change equipment just like we change assets in our portfolio. But the basic premise, if you look at it from the macro version, is diversification works. And yes, you have to interchange, individual investments periodically. But at the end of the day, if you have a portfolio that is properly allocated, you should be able to withstand a lot of different scenarios.
And you talk about being in the rough, and that should try to be alleviated from day one. Like if you have children, it would be nice to try putting money away for them as they're growing up.
No, absolutely. You look at the hazards in golf, and there are many. There are sand traps, water, trees, wind. We could go on, and some that are in our control and some are not. in our control. And the hazards of life are the same, and the hazards of money are the same. I mean, some things we just cannot control. We cannot control, what the market's going to do on a day-by-day scenario. We cannot control when interest rates are going to go up and down. But there are many things that we can control. In your example, one has children, and if they want to provide an education for those children, they should start investing early. And if they invest early, they have 18 years to accumulate enough money to go to college.
Let me ask you this, though. As a professional, if you're with a professional golfer and you're not a professional golfer, obviously you're going to approach the game a little bit differently, and maybe you don't really have any interest in being that good as your professional friend. The same thing is true for investing. One of the things you point out in the book is that we should be a student all the time, a lifetime student of the game of investing, obviously. And while that's so important, like you need to know what you're doing, do you think we should maybe allow some of the decisions to be based on advice from a professional investment counselor?
Well, I'll tell you, a great example, because I played yesterday with a good friend of mine. He's a scratch golfer. And there's no way that I can keep up with this guy. But he tolerates me, and I learn from him. And we play well. I mean, and there's something in golf called the handicap system that kind of evens things out. But the reality is, many people try to do this themselves, myself included when I first started playing. And some of us realize after a little bit of time that maybe we need a little help. And if it's from your friend who's a scratch golfer, or from a professional golfer, a pro, we realize that we need some help to maybe change a few things to make our game better. And it's just, how better do you want to be? Do you want to be a scratch golfer? Well, then set that goal. But most of us don't. I mean, I'm at a stage in my life, there's no way I'm ever going to go on tour. I realize that. So I set that expectation. But I want to have fun when I play. And the same with investing. Set your expectations. If you have 20 years to go to save X amount of dollars, wow, okay, you could probably set a lot of different portfolios up to do that. If you have 1 year to go, well, it might be a little tougher. And some people, again, even in the world of investing, they try to do it themselves, and many of them, I'm sure, are very successful. Those that need a little help, I find no problem with asking for help.
Mm-hmm. And your book isn't just about investing. It's so wonderful to read. It is not boring, but it's also about life, and you really, really bring home the point that you have to have a good life in order to have a loving family, a good career, and be successful.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, I never met anyone who was at the end of their life that wished that they would have worked one more day or made one more dollar. But many people at the end of their life wish they would have done maybe something, gone to one more of their kids' games or done something else. We have something we call memory investing. And what memory investing is, many people have money and they don't know what to do with it. They want to buy things. Well, how about doing things that create a memory with your family, with your friends, etc.? And some of the best times we've ever had were the simplest, didn't cost that much money.
Yeah.
We invested money to do it.
Oh, I love that. You've got a really great way of teaching us in a way that we understand. I think Robin was saying the same thing. I love the fact that you can talk to us about something that's almost a mystery and make it seem not so mysterious. So, and I think you've done that pretty well with the book. Before we say goodbye, I found the book on Amazon. It looks like you're getting really good ratings. And I have a copy of the book. If I have a listener who would like the one that was sent to me, call me. I'll pick your number at random and give it to you. The rest of us have to go buy it. Like I say, I found it on Amazon. Getting to the Green is the title of the book. Look for Altair Gobo as the author, Gobo. Do you have a website you can send us to, Al?
Sure, www.usfsc, United States Financial Service Corporation.com. And by the way, the money that comes in from this book all goes to charity.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that is marvelous.
Oh, wow. That's
so
awesome.
Generous.
Well, thank you for being on the air with us. Robin, by the way, has a son in Jersey.
Yes, he loves it there.
Beautiful.
What's the city again?
Clifton.
Clifton, you know where that is?
My daughter-in-law.
That's 5 minutes from us.
5 minutes.
Oh, nice. I'll have to ask him to look you up.
Altair, thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Thank you, Larry, Robin. It was a pleasure. I appreciate it.
All right, we will be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. Tennessee Senator Bob Corker, a Republican, tells the New York Times President Trump is treating the office like a reality show and that his recklessness could set us on the path to World War III. On Twitter, he called the White House an adult daycare after the president's tweets attacking him. White House counsel Kellyanne Conway tells Fox and Friends,
"We thank him for his service, but I find tweets like this to be incredibly irresponsible."
Corker announced last month he would not run for re-election.